Did you make me co-host?
I'll do that right now.
Don't forget view.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see if we can do both. All right. Let's see. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Speaker.
Wonderful. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
Okay,
can.
wonderful. All right. Now I can see you guys. Got it.
All right. You know, I'm always going to share.
Yes.
I know you're live. I got the text.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Okay. So yes, we are live.
Hey.
Everybody's here. So yeah, let's get in contact with everyone. Yes, I do have a few things that I need to do as we're getting ready. Miss Scott.
Yes. Hello, guys. How is everybody doing? Today is Wednesday, the 28th. My birthday was on Monday.
Oh.
So it is 2 days past my birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, my dear. Never mind.
Guys, let me tell you, you guys.
I'm just gonna share really quickly here.
Yes.
So yeah, give me a moment.
Welcome everyone. Yes, we have guests showing up. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys.
Okay. How was everybody's week? Half week.
Well, it's been great. It's been great. So just I'll be right in a few seconds, but everything is like this week has been super busy, and I'm gonna share with you guys some of the things that we as we were braiding that we're doing. So just stay tuned. 1 second.
All right. Well. Oh, Coach left.
No, Coach is right back.
No, okay. All righty, thank you.
My gosh, I got such great feedback from the show we did last week. It was, I couldn't pinpoint exactly what was it. Perhaps it was because it was a first day back after, taking off for 2 months. The feedback that I got from everybody was just amazing. How, they loved the show, how, we interacted. And of course, that's the reason that I talk about Monday's voice is because a couple of people reach out to me actually says, I just love his voice.
Oh, interesting.
So my answer was, well, guess what? He DJs sometimes, so he has his voice.
Oh, speaking about that, Maggie had a chance to hear me DJ for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you DJ? Interesting.
My very first time. So how was it, Maggie?
It was wonderful. I mean, it was nice. And he gave you that superstar voice, like, oh, excuse me. I mean, I cannot do it.
So I can give up coaching, right?
No.
Don't give up your first job, your day job.
Don't give us your day job. Don't give us your day job.
Don't give up. Well, you tried.
Hey, I can always say I did it once upon a time.
That's it.
This is true. Really, really nice.
Hi, Mert. How are you? So nice to see you. And Antonio, thank you for joining us, guys. Please share it, invite your friends, and tell them to join us. As you guys already know what the show is all about, right? So we don't need to tell you much. But I do know that Miss Scott will definitely share with you all the adults and kids things. So I'll let her do that when she's ready.
So everyone, welcome to the Maggie and Kattia show. So this is our second week back, and we are loving it. And we can also see that you guys love that we are back from the reviews, from just viewing how many people have viewed the show and interacted. So it's something that makes us feel good. So we're glad to see that you guys are enjoying. And we ask that you do the same, keep sharing on your page, sharing with your friends, just share. And then, participate. And that's what makes the show interesting. So again, as you know, this is our opinion only. And we always ask that you be aware if you have kids, just be mindful because this is still an adult show. So anybody under 16, 18, I say just be careful. We can go from 0 to whatever number you want to put behind it. So today we're going to have another great show. And we're hoping that you will participate, like I said. So Coach Maggie,
Yes.
As I continue to share.
Well, this week, like I said, it's been super busy because, of course, last week we shared with you that we're getting really close to December 10th, right? Which is a masquerade ball. And let me tell you something. If someone had told me that, it would have been this thing would be so demanding of my time, I would have said, no, it's only a party. I've had several parties, when my kids were growing up, we've had parties all the time. Little did I know, let me tell you, we started this journey back in, I think it was the end of March when the idea came. Okay, well, let's just start this. And then actually, I think we put it out at the end of June, because that's when we really wanted to start talking to people and, asking everybody what they wanted. So we put all the information that we got together. So then we put it out there so people could see it. We put it on Eventbrite so people can start buying their tickets. And let me tell you, I do have a great support group, because my support group was the very first who went on Eventbrite and bought their tickets. Let me tell you, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And so I'm really, these are the little things that, sometimes it appears to be, okay, well, I'm just doing this, but these are the things that motivate me. As a coach, everybody's busy. We do a lot of things, but to make time to come and pour onto my community, it's because I see how you guys receive us, the feedback that we get from you guys, and the love that we get from you. So don't ever feel that what you're doing is not seen, because we receive it and we appreciate you guys. I'm telling you, when I saw those of you who went and got your tickets, I was like, wow, thank you. I so appreciate you guys. And so right now we are 2 months, almost exactly 2 months to the date, right? October 10th will be 2 months to the date. So I am, everything that we needed to do, everything is done, right, Monday? We got everything done. And right now, all we need, you guys need to start shopping. You need to go get your gown, ladies, because you cannot come to a masquerade ball looking, you're just going shopping. It's not acceptable. We're not doing this. I want you guys to wear your maxis, and I want you gentlemen to wear your suit or your tux. When you go on Eventbrite, you'll see a little description of how, about the event. We have lots of surprises for you, so I can't not tell you, you have to be there to experience the moment. But I really have to say that I'm ready. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready. Like I told you guys last week, the name of the event is called A Taste of Passion. Come on now, just say it, right? Wendy, what do you think? A taste of passion.
Let me see if I can say it with my sexy voice. A taste of passion.
That's right.
That was it right there.
Definitely a taste of passion. So I'm excited about this. So Vanya, how are you doing? I know Miss Kattia is busy doing things, and I see that you're busy too, but I'm gonna bug you a second and ask you, how are you doing? Monday, are you able to do what you had asked me?
No, just click on view and then go to speaker.
I know.
Yeah,
okay, but I thought you were gonna do it. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Vanya.
Oh, well, how do I do? I'm doing well. It had so far the week is good. Work, enjoying the weekend as much as I can.
It's basic.
Mhm.
Basic. Usually people see me on Facebook and they say, "Oh my God, you're living the life." They always see me out with my sister. I'm partying, or I'm going out to dinner, and they think my life is so full. But it's really quiet because I like the quietness of that part of my life. So I'm not all that hopping around from place to place and looking as I am busy at work, of course, but it suits me. My life is really, I'm really falling into it. It's you always having to restart your life. And so far, it's going well. I like it. I'm satisfied with it. So it's going well. It's going well.
I'm glad to hear that. I really am. What about you, Miss Scott?
It's going, and like I said, I just got a year better. So I'm wondering, where did they go? Where did they go? Where are they coming from? But I'm welcoming it because as we get wiser and more mature, we start thinking of differently to a certain extent about different things. So reflecting, trying to see things I need to get better at, things I need to change, but at the end of the day, it's just it's good. It's like Vanya said, it's falling into the puzzles are coming together.
Wonderful.
The puzzles are coming together.
Yeah.
As long as we're healthy, everything else will fall into place, right?
Definitely. I also think that when I personally, when I was younger, I used to look at someone and I'll say, "Oh my gosh, they're so old." But when you get to be older yourself, and you see how young you feel, right? You see that it's okay. It's okay for you to to be in that space. It's okay for you to have you to be married, to have kids, to have grandkids, and yet to still feel like you're young. Because I mean, I still feel like, what should I say, 25? No, I'll say 30. Okay, but if you guys really want something, I'll say 35. But that's it. I'm not going to.
We didn't say anything. It was you feeling guilty. I said that I think 30 is a great age, but I definitely feel like I am. Your body sometimes speak to you, but I think for the most part, mind, body, and soul. I feel like, I'm still very much a young woman. I think I feel like, very vibrant. I think it's now I'm starting to understand what they've said when women reach a certain age or are getting older, they're more alive. I think, I feel that is true. And we really don't have tolerance for a lot of nonsense. I'm correct.
That's the best part, as you said, Kattia, is because as you getting older, all the experience and all the things that you used to worry about in your teen, in your 20s, and those things doesn't seem to be anything to worry about at that point. So adding the experience you have and what you've learned out of it, and you realize you don't have to take a lot of the nonsense, and you don't have to make excuses for your life or your behavior. Not that I'm saying you're supposed to behave erratically, offending people, but it's just no excuse for whatever you do, and there's always going to be someone telling you or looking over you to see what you are doing, and you shouldn't be doing that, but as if they owe your life. They don't owe your life. They're not even having their own life together for them to even tell you how to live, but they are trying. So that's the point where you reach on your age, you feel good. You don't care what people say because you've learned from the experience that it's all BS, that you don't have to listen to it. So you end up being in a better place, as you get older. That's
Yeah.
how I see it.
I do agree. I think that maturity, in life really take you to a whole different space in life. I think for me, things that I used to worry about when I was younger, they really don't do anything to me anymore. It's like, for instance, if when I was younger, it was important as far as, well, just make sure that people don't say anything bad about you. We're raised that way. You have to make sure that you do certain things. I'm in a space right now, and I don't know, for those of you who are watching, I would love to get some feedback from you guys. Do you feel like that? I mean, do you feel like you're in a space where you're just content with your life? And it doesn't matter what people say about you. It doesn't matter what others think about you, because you are so comfortable in your own skin, and you don't mind, at the same token, you don't mind giving love to someone, although that person may not reciprocate. But because it's who you are, you don't do things with expectation that, well, I'm gonna do this because you do this for me. No, you do it because it makes you feel good, and regardless of what people think about it.
It is.
Go ahead, Mandy.
Yeah, I agree with Maggie. It is an awesome discovery of self when you come to this time or this point of your life where I remember specifically the day it was for me. It's almost like I went to sleep and I woke up the next day, and that morning I remember looking at myself in the morning and saying these things to myself for the very first time. And I felt liberating, because for a long portion of my life, I did not put myself first. I put everyone first, whether it was my parents, whether it was my kids, there was always someone that I was putting first. I was putting first. And I was okay with it. So I thought, right? But I remember sharing this with my wife. I remember very clearly that day when I woke up and I said to myself, Monday, now it needs to be about you. And right after that, the very first thing that came to mind is, you can't be worrying about what people say or think about you anymore. It doesn't matter. And I was like, wow. And I felt it, like, I really felt like, you know what? You can say whatever you want to say about me. It's not going to change anything. You can think whatever you want to think about me. It doesn't really matter. I've learned that your perception of me will always be your perception. It doesn't change who I am about myself, who I am and how I feel about myself. And then I started operating that way. And boy, I tell you, that sense of wholeness that came to play, like you felt like a new you for the very first time. And it was not only liberating, but it was peaceful, because for the first time, the amount of stress you were carrying, you no longer have to carry that anymore. You can just be yourself, right? And so I wonder sometimes, as I think about this, here we are sometimes on this very platform, we talk about dating and we talk about all of those things. At what point when you are dating, do you guys remember at which point you felt, I can be myself now? Was it during the first date? Was it during did you come into this date relationship or whatever courtship and kind of showing a facade or showing a version of you because you wanted the person to really like you. So you put your best foot forward. But was there ever a point you felt like, you know what? I'm tired. That's not me. I need to be me. And how did that feel? How did that go?
I think that was I don't know. Honestly speaking, and I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm, whatever. I think I've always been myself. I think what it is, it's a matter of, as you get to know the person, how much are you showing or giving? You know what I mean? But I don't think I've ever pretended to be Miss Goody Goody and then, haha, here I am. A few years or a few months down the line. However, I think it's pretty natural as you get to know somebody, and I think you just naturally start letting go, and just relaxing and feeling like, okay, I can be comfortable. I can be more, myself, but I don't know if you were never yourself. I think it's just a natural pace that we go through as we get to know people, however, I think the problem is if you never get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I can never feel like I can laugh or I can take my bra off around you and I can just take off my wig now that I wear wigs. You know how they say, well, the real person, please stand up.
Yes.
So, just people like you constantly, oh, I got to go run, put a makeup. I got to put my earrings on. Because I know Maggie is one that's always, for the most part, you can't be without lipstick. You always got to put your earrings on. You always got. So I've never had that like, oh my God, I got to do this. But I feel like if you're able to take off your wig, be bare with no makeup. Some people don't wear makeup anyway, but for those of you that do, and you feel comfortable around this person with no makeup, and it's kind of like shedding, this is who I am, take me as I am. But I think we have to do this. And if you're not able to do that with someone, then I feel like then something is off.
Yeah.
This may not be, that relationship may not be going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say, oh, if I don't let out flatulence, which is gas, if I don't fart in front of you, if I don't use the bathroom, while you doing your thing, if I don't come in there, we have not gotten comfortable yet. But some people are just will never naturally be that way. Because my significant, he's like, don't fart on me. He doesn't like, he'll get up, he'll walk away. And I'm like, I still heard it. He's like, yeah, but I didn't do it in front of you. Which is weird. I'm like, whatever. But look at Maggie. But I'm saying this is who I am. Like, I've got to be myself. I don't know how to be anybody else. Yeah. So if I can't be comfortable with anybody, and that's in any relationship, friendship as well. I feel like if you can't be comfortable in a friendship, then you don't really have a friend. You know how they say, Lo, when you're in a relationship, if you guys don't argue, then you're truly not in a relationship. And I feel like that's in every relationship. I don't know if anybody sees it differently, but I see friendship, relationship, sistership, brothership, kidship, all of them, I see it the same way. It's just how you interact with each other, but the basics are the same. It's respect, love, compromising. To me, that's how I operate with anybody that I care for.
Yeah. Vanya, what do you think?
Okay, well, I'm not sure when.
You're
I don't know. I was just texted like.
you're going in and out.
I
Yeah.
know. I was just told that I was going in. Can you still hear me?
You're still
Yeah,
in
when,
and out.
yeah, when you get closer, it's easier. Mhm.
When you get closer,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
that's better.
I think I know. What's going on. 1 second. I had my Bluetooth on something. Okay. Okay. Is that better?
Better, yes.
I just figure it. Right. So I had to shut off my Bluetooth. So what it is that when Monday asked that question, I'm not sure, is it from the beginning of the show? Is it the beginning of the relationship? It's still going on, you know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think it's how you, I don't know, it's when you move closer, you sound better.
All right. I'm gonna stay.
You're good there.
Okay, stay there. Yeah.
Freeze. So, so what it is that Monday, I'm not sure when you asked that question, is it from the beginning of the relationship or when you get into very comfortable with each other and be in that space where Kattia was talking about? Because if it's in the beginning of the relationship, I can see everyone is very nervous about being yourself into being so comfortable with someone that, yeah, I wear a wig, but I'm not gonna take it off yet. From the beginning of the relationship, you will see it later. And I think it takes time for me to warm up to someone to get to that point of it's still in and out. I don't know. I think it takes time for me to get very comfortable with someone. I will be comfortable. I will be as comfortable as I am as if we are best friends, but it's just that it will take me time to get to that point. But once I get to that point, yeah, I'm very comfortable, talk about anything, walk around in front of you, and I even cook basically with nothing. But it's just that I have to be comfortable and know where you are with me. And I think a lot of people are not that way in the beginning because you don't know how the person really feels about you. You don't know, you're afraid of being judged. That's usually the fear that comes attached to a relationship. Am I going to be judged by that person? Am I going to be liked by that person? Am I going to be turning off? So you're not sure where you are at that relationship. So you tend to hold back a little bit, you know, until you're comfortable with that person. Once you're comfortable, yeah, it's everything in plus, because you cannot be in a relationship for a couple of months with someone if you're still hiding certain part of yourself, because eventually you're gonna fall asleep and you don't know what's gonna come out as you sleep. Snore, whatever it is. So yeah, I have to know who am I with before I can be comfortable, because yeah, at that point, you know, you're not too sure. That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
And coach, before you answer the question, I'm going to push the envelope a little bit and perhaps you can answer that question.
Okay.
And I love the way the ladies articulated. Now let's push the envelope. So now let's say that now you have been in a relationship, you are married, and as you know, people change. We change, I change, my spouse change. How do we respond to the change in ourselves? And how do we respond to the change in the relationship? Because it will happen. Sometimes it happens in a way that is scary, because now you are seeing almost a different version of yourself, a different version of your spouse. How do you respond to that? What do you do with that?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
But isn't that part of growing? Whether we grow together, or are you referring to changes, not just physical, in general? but not so much focusing on the physical aspect. But I think that that's what we expect to grow. However, if we are growing in different directions, I don't know if that's what you're saying, where I start seeing a lot of changes in that person that I didn't see before, and now it's throwing me off.
Yeah. So based on some of the conversation I've had, right, and I'm seeing a pattern. People naturally, and I'm not even talking about physically, we are changing by day. But as earlier, you guys, Kat, you mentioned how women mature differently, and they mature as you get older, you begin to mature, and as you mature, your mind changes as well. The way you do things, the way you think, the way you process, and all that change, right? But if you're by yourself, it's different. Now, when you're in a relationship, people, you and your partner, you guys are accustomed to a certain lifestyle, a certain way of doing things, and so forth. And now both of you are gradually changing, and the things that were maybe used to be meaningful are no longer meaningful to you now. So it's almost like you are at the second stage of your relationship, right? It's blossoming, but it's blossoming in a way that's threatening to the two of you, because this is an area that both of you have not been yet.
But isn't it the same thing as honestly, I'm not seeing it as a scary thing, and I don't know. The reason I feel that way is because I feel that if I've been with somebody for 15, 20 years, and it's like seeing your kids grow, right? And it doesn't really change that much. That's my opinion. So that is the process. They're supposed to grow. And that's what you want. You want them to become independent. You want them to do what they're supposed to become great adults. So as we are growing, since that we've been together so long, I don't think we're gonna, if we really are that great of a couple, I don't think we're gonna grow apart. I think that's gonna bring us closer, if anything, because we should be able to take that time and be like, oh my God, look what we've done. And our love should be growing in a different level. And the time that we spent together should be more meaningful. That's how I'm seeing it. And, looking at what we produce, look what we've done, look how far we've become. And when I look at you, I should be like, damn, I love this man. Look what we've done. Now, I think, they do have couples, as all these things are happening, they start looking at each other and be like, I don't think I ever liked this person. So I think there was always that there. I think, because I don't think as you've accomplished so much, that's the time you're going to fall apart. That's my personal opinion, because I feel like, yeah, I want to continue to grow. I want to see us, grow and continue to flourish and all that. So I feel that, and I think it's extremely sad when I see couples that have lived together, been together, so-called 40 years, and then they divorce. Like, what the hell is that all about?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And this is why I said what I just said. I truly feel like you were never really in a happy relationship.
I don't know if I will say that. I think as we get older in relationships, as you spend more time with someone, because it's part of being a human being that you grow. I mean, we can't stay the same at all time. So it's not really, I wouldn't call it changes, I'll call it growth. And if both of you are growing together, then you can, you complement each other. But if one person is still at the same space and one person is progressing differently, then that's where the disconnect happened. That's why you'll see people who've been together for so many years, and then all of a sudden they say, well, I don't know who this person is. It's because one of them decided to be comfortable in whatever space he or she was, and the other one decided to embrace changes in life, and then become that person that you're supposed to be. And you're no longer a partner anymore, because right now one is here, the other one is there. So how do you stay together? You really can't. And I understand what you're saying, the question, Mandy, because, for me, I feel like, there was a time where I was not always who I am right now. And you cannot remain the same. You have to grow. You have to change in life, but that doesn't mean the relationship itself has to be different. And I think that's the problem in relationships, because once we feel that, okay, well, right now I'm making so much money, or I'm doing different things than you do, then we're no longer compatible. It has nothing to do with that.
And I agree. I agree. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to help my the people that I either coach or work with to understand. When we talk about how it used to be,
Mhm.
they become alive, right? When they're talking about the past and all of the things that they were able to do together and accomplish, like Kat was saying and Vanya was talking about earlier. So they become alive, and then at some point they find themselves gradually moving away from the things that used to work in the relationship. They no longer do those things. And now they find themselves looking at each other as if, what happened to us, right? And so what I tell them is, I need you guys to stop being grown-ups and go back to being this 19, this 20, this 21-year-old person again. And we captured that moment, that moments with your spouse, because it was there, right? So you look at simple little things that I give them little tests to take, and simple little things as, how many times do you guys kiss each other?
Mhm.
You'll be surprised people who are married no longer kiss one another. Those are the same couple, when they talk about their younger age, they couldn't get enough of each other, right? But now they barely spend any quality time together. So now I challenge them to go back and recreate this again. It's almost as if at some point, and the reason why I'm asking this question, because I'm thinking out loud, and it's almost as if as we get older, because we're talking about changes, right? We forget that as an adult, it's still okay to play. I think I counsel too many people who refuse to play. They no longer play. They work,
Mhm.
they pay bills, they live together, they go to church, they do all of those things, but they don't play. And I'm not talking about playing the game of Jenga. No, I'm talking about play, right? Play, tease each other, say silly little things, give a silly compliment, give a little kiss, give a little hug, dance just for the sake of dancing, even though she doesn't know how to dance or he doesn't know how to dance. Who cares? It's not about knowing how to dance, it's about the time spending together. Do things that used to keep you guys alive. You know what I'm talking about, Vanya?
Yeah, definitely. It's, I don't see how you can be in a relationship and living life at the same time, and you're not learning, and then you're not changing. And there are people who just decided to remain the same way you knew them 10 years ago. It's the same person you're seeing in front of you. They are
Mhm.
not changing. Although they're going through life, if you travel, if you have conversation with coworkers, or you even people passing the street, conversation when you're going to work on the train or the bus. It's a learning experience. Every time you communicate with someone, you learn something. And how you can just decide and say, I am not changing. I don't understand how that is possible. And this is why you're seeing one person is growing and the other one is not, because it's, and first of all, when you are changing, the person can see it. It's not overnight you're becoming a different type of person. You are with someone in the home and they can see you growing and you changing. But if one is thirsty for life and they want to live life, they want to grow, they want to travel, they want to have fun, and you remain too serious and you don't want to do things, you're not growing as a couple. So I do feel that way, is that if you want your relationship to work, you have to be open. You have to play, as you said, dance. I used to be in a relationship where we're playing music and we just get up and start dancing on the floor by ourselves. We're cracking up, you know. And sometimes during the dancing, a silly joke, and then you're just cracking up. And it happened to be a fun day or a fun afternoon or a fun evening. You have to be creative, and life is not that serious. It is, but you can make it fun, you know?
I think also that is one of the things that I think happens with some women when they say they have kids. A lot of men tend to complain about that. They're no longer fun. They look like an old woman. They just settling or catering to the child, and they forget about the spouse. So I think it's kind of something like that, where I believe that if you guys are in a pretty good relationship, you should be able to communicate. You should be, before it goes any further, like Maggie was saying, the person didn't change overnight. So you were seeing it and you let it go and you thought, oh, they'll get back to, how it used to be. And I think we do that a lot. We let things slide and we wait for a moment, and then it's like, uh-oh. And you don't want to talk about it now because it's too much. And then when you do start, it turns into an argument. And then this is where things just start going south. So I think personally, if that's something that somebody is noticing in their relationship, whether married or whatever it is, I think it's something that you need to bring up, because changes happen for a reason. So we may, there is, because I'm very observant, and I pick up on changes like that. I may not say something the first time, but best believe I'm going to say something, because I feel that if I don't, I'm allowing this to happen. And whether I like it or not, I'm going to say, if it's something good, I'm going to be like, oh, you know what, babe? Oh my God, this is, I've seen these, whatever it is. And I think we also need to remember that we are human. We like to feel like when we're doing something good, you want to let that person know, I love that you're changing, you're paying more attention. And I think that also helps the relationship. You don't always want to nag.
Yeah.
And it's like a child. You don't always want to tell them, oh, you need to do better. You need to also praise the person and let them know. We all like that. And I think that encourages us. But nevertheless, I think that once you notice something is different that could potentially harm the relationship, it definitely needs to be brought up. It needs to be talked about.
And I have to say, Kat, before you even bring that up, you need to look inwards and not outwards. I think it's imperative for us to know that, because sometimes your approach might set the table for an argument where in reality that's not what you guys need. So it's important that you look inwards. In other words, if you see that the relationship is not going the way that it should, you need to start looking at yourself, number one, to say, what is it that I am not, or I'm not doing, or I'm not paying attention to, or what is it that I used to do, I'm not doing. Start with self. And then if you continue to analyze things and, like you say, pay attention, and I'm going to ask Coach if you can join me on that. What are some of the signs that you can begin to see as you're analyzing the situation, right? Are there signs that you should look for to let you know, okay, we need to have a meeting this is an SOS moment. So we can figure out whether or not we're gonna go and get some therapy, get a coach to help us, because right now we are stuck where we are. It doesn't mean we don't love each other anymore or anything like that. It just means that right now, whatever's happening with the relationship, it's stuck. And are there any signs that are readily available for you to see with your eyes to let you know that, okay, something's just not right?
Definitely, there are plenty of signs. I can share with you guys. If you are in a relationship with someone and all of a sudden, let's say you used to do things together and that person is no longer interested in doing these things, it's because they're not happy about something but don't know how to express it. So then they will take away from you things that they know you like the most, so they can get your attention because they don't know. And this is so funny because we often talk about communication, and this is where communication just lies right there. Let's say your spouse or your partner does something to you and you don't know how to tell this person what he or she did. So now what do? You want to punish them. That's what I've been told. It's called punishment, right? And for your way of punishing is to withdraw. Take something that they like so they can feel the pain that you're feeling. So then they can come to you and ask you what's going on.
So what does that do to a relationship though?
Well, it messes up the relationship.
Sabotage it. Yeah.
What it does, which is the worst part of it, is that now your behavior, which is negative, right?
Mhm.
The other person who is not fully aware of as to why you're behaving that way, instead of having a conversation with you, right? Instead of coming to you and saying, what happened? Why are you acting that way? That person now call their friends, right? Or that person go and sit with his head or her head, right? And start creating stories. Well, I don't care about you. If you don't want to talk to me, I'll just find somebody else to talk with. Well, if you don't want to do this for me anymore, I'll just find a way to make it happen. Well, if you don't want to do this or do that, all of a sudden, that one thing that created this problem became something humongous because of one simple thing: lack of communication. And if somebody does something to you, often we take things so personal. You could be coming from work and something happened and then you're upset, you come home and then you reacted about something that meant nothing. That would have been nothing to you in any other day. But that particular day you were upset. And you came home and you got upset at your spouse. But your spouse could have said, well, this is not the way Mandy acts. This is not the way Kattia or Vanya acts, Let me find out what happened. But instead, that person take it so personal, like you actually hurt them to the core of their heart. Where you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back. Oh, so this is how you're walking into the house with this attitude? Guess what? I'm not making dinner for you tonight.
But isn't that a little bit like, I don't know. I just feel like that is so harsh and so quick to think. I mean, I know I do, sometimes you might think negatively or whatever, but I don't think where I want to hurt the person right away.
But when you're doing it, you're not telling yourself you're going to hurt the person.
But you are.
Well, that's the thing.
But I'm saying, I think you are telling yourself that.
No. Let me tell you what you're telling yourself. That person hurts you. That's what you're telling yourself.
Right. So therefore, I'm gonna hurt them back because I feel like
no. You
don't process it that way. You don't process your thoughts.
Yeah. You don't think you're hurting them back. Why you did that to me? Now you're playing the victim game. That's what we're doing.
But at the end,
when you sit down and you start thinking, that's when reason come. When you sit down and have a conversation, that's when reason come. But in that moment, you feel like this person came and they hurt your feelings. And they're not giving you a space for you to say anything because they look like they're upset. So you took it all personal. You made it about you. You made the anger or whatever the bad moment that they had at work, you own it. And now you feel that, okay, well, you're mad at me. So guess what? I'm going to be mad at you too.
I don't know. I must be weird because honestly, I'm hearing everything you're saying and I can't wrap my head around it simply because I feel that if I'm in a good space with someone and you walk in and you do something and I'm going to be like, what's wrong with you? That's going to be my first reaction. I'm going to be like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong with you? And if you say something, you know, crazy, I'm going to be like, did something happen? Like, I'm going to probe. I'm going to try to find out what's going on. I guess that's what I'm saying, because unless something is really going on between you and I, and then you say something slick.
Yeah, I think you miss it. I think what we were talking about, though, we were talking about, are there signs? So in other words, the relationship is going through something right now. It's already going through something. You may not be aware for whatever reason, but you guys are going through it, right?
Right, but we're gonna talk. That's what I'm saying. Because if I start seeing you acting weird, I'm gonna be like, let me see what's going on here. Because, like I said, I'm very perceptive. So I'll pick up on something, depending on what it is. I may not say anything right away. I'm gonna be like, all right, I may need to watch this a little bit. And if I see it again, I'm gonna ask you, like, what's going on? Is everything okay? Because I've noticed this, that. But if you were saying, no, nothing is wrong, that's okay. Then I really know something is wrong. Depending on what it is, that's me. And I feel like I'm going to ask you again. And then if you snap, I'm going to be like, okay, this is not, wait, whoa. Something is wrong here. What is going on? And maybe the person, maybe nothing is really wrong, but then you start making it wrong because you're persistent. I know I've done that when the person is going through their own stuff and it has nothing to do with me. Maybe they're not ready to talk about it yet. And I think that's a problem with a lot of women, a man might be going through something and they're not ready to talk about it, but because we like to fix stuff, we want to know, and then we become pushy. That's something I've learned about me. And you become pushy, and then now you're arguing.
Oh, absolutely.
Now you're arguing. Now it is. Now it is. Yes. Now there's a problem.
Yeah. So there's a study and there's a dialogue called the Bendigo dialogue, in which, believe it or not, in which you train couples how to have conversation. But most importantly, before you can even start the conversation, you need to ask permission if this is a good time to talk. Because sometimes, as you say, just keep asking me what's wrong, may make things worse, right?
I've done that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
I normally if someone walks into with that kind of issue in the home when I'm there already, I normally pull back because I don't like confrontation. So I would normally pull back and give them a couple of, maybe even an hour or two, and just to let them settle down. That's usually my reaction. You know, you're walking with an attitude, and I know I didn't do anything. I would just look at you funny, like, okay, what's wrong? And then I leave it alone, you know, and I go on about my business. But surely before, I'll give it about an hour and a half, up to 2, and say, are you okay? You seem upset. So that's usually the way I handle it. You know?
Yeah. So we have about 6 minutes left. Coach, I'm gonna put this back on you, right? So let's change the scenario just a little bit for the next 5 minutes, right? This is a relationship. They are experiencing some struggles within the relationship. How or what's the best way that they should address it? I know we talk about communication, but I feel another leg that is equally important if you're going to have communication is this thing called humbleness, right? The ability to be humble enough to hear what the other person is trying to say without feeling so defensive. Your thoughts?
Yeah. That comes with maturity. To become humble to the point where you understand that whatever this person is going through is not about you, and give them the space to be whoever at that moment they need to be. And that means if they have to scream, if they want to cry, if they want to get upset, allow them that space to be that person. I think one of the challenges that we go through is because we take things personal. And, like Kattia and Rania just shared too, it's like, you keep asking questions, and then you really actually make that person, you create a problem more than a solution. So really is to, for me, is, I know I mentioned, earlier, communication, but it's really also to respect that person and allow that person to be, and knowing that whatever this person is going through, it's not about you. And I think that's when we start creating problems in relationship, when we make it about us. And we take the problem away from the other person, and now all of a sudden, it's about you. Now you want this person to make you feel better because you're going through something. So if you can just disconnect yourself from it, and knowing that whoever it is going through something, and just let them be, give them time to heal, and just be the listening ears that they want you to be. Just be present. Because one of the things that I personally do, and I coach my clients on these things, it's like, if there is an argument about anything, the best thing to do is to really just stay quiet. Just be quiet. Let the person say whatever they have to say. And once you're done being quiet, the first thing you say as the person, empty his or herself, is to say, give me some time to think about what you just said.
Yeah, I have to say, I agree with you. We only have 2 minutes. I just want to add this. If you're going to have a conversation with us men, please don't lecture us for 15 minutes, because we're not going to hear anything you say. We're only going to remember the last few words that you say. I'm being honest. Give it to us in small, literally, give me 3 sentences at a time. Help me process it, and then continue to talk. Don't think just because I'm sitting here and I'm shaking my head and I'm looking at you, don't think I'm really listening to you if you're going to talk for 10 minutes. It's not happening. Listen, family, if you want to learn more, if you want to find out more, you have to come and see us, right? Maggie, tell them about this wonderful banquet that we are doing in a few months.
Yeah, bravo. That was beautifully said.
Let me tell you, this event was birthed because we have a passion. As you can see, we have this thing in us that want to show people how to find love and how to be happy in love.
And how to keep it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I remember personally when I told my friends and colleagues, when I was working and I was going through this divorce, and I told them, I said, I want to find love. But they knew what I was going through. They thought, you're crazy. Why would you want to go through this again? But there is such a thing as love. There is such a thing as finding that compatible partner.
Absolutely.
There is such a thing as finding the one.
And if you want to learn more,
We
you
just
need
have
to
to
come, you need
December.
to come to this banquet, because not only you're going to get to meet some wonderful, wonderful people, but you get to see Coach, you get to see Vanya, you get to see Kat, myself, and as a result of that, but let me say this, right? Coach and I, we've been working on a package for you guys. So if you enjoy what you're hearing here, and you say, you know what? I think I'm a good candidate to just have some training. That's what we call it, right? To just have some training. Someone who's gonna just help me along the way, whether you are married already or you're in a relationship with, you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, or a girlfriend with a girlfriend, whatever. It doesn't matter to us, right? Love is love, right?
The love
Yes.
is
We
love.
want to give you, we want to equip you with the skills that are necessary to have a long lasting relationship. If you want to come and join us, come and party with us. But after the party, we're going to get to work. Coach, the floor is yours as we say our goodbyes.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Monty, for reminding everybody about this wonderful event we're going to have December 10th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's posted on every aspect of my social media. And if you guys have any questions, please reach out. But you can also go find the link on my page and go directly to Eventbrite. Get your ticket.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. If you waste time, last week we told you 50 tickets, half of we are asking for between 100 to 125. Half of the tickets have been already sold. So if you don't get your ticket on time and you think you're going to wait until next month, well, you may have to wait for another couple of years. Okay. Because let me tell you, the people who are interested about attending this event are already prepared, right? Ladies?
I guess they are. They better be. They
Yes.
better
It's
be.
already purchased.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So the only thing that I've asked you guys to wait is for the hotel. I'm trying to get a group rate for everybody. I should have an answer pretty soon. I do have a few of them that I've contacted already, but I want to make sure that I have the best deal, and that so you guys can go to Florida, not just, for one night, but make it a vacation. Bring your family with you. Have a good time. We deserve this.
Absolutely.
At 2 years of COVID, we need to have some fun. So let's join us in the sunshine, Florida, so we all can have fun together. And as we're getting ready to leave tonight, oh my gosh, conversation. You guys know, we never, not surprise you, because we always come with something that is unexpected. Team tonight, you guys have been wonderful. As you can see, I sat back and listened to you guys. I appreciate everything you shared. And I know everybody who's watching got something from it. And I've read some of the comment as well. And I appreciate Murray. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for inviting people. Mirrors, thank you so much. I know Maggie was here. I know Maggie Jackson is here. And also, some of our favorite one, I know Rachel, LC, and everybody else. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Fifi, Baba, and all the others. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And we want to be respectful of your time. So guys, you want to say?
I just want to say this. I want everyone to know that is watching that we actually, I don't know if Coach is not going to like this or not, but I think it's important to say, especially because of what you just said. I want you guys to know that very much that what we are doing, we do not have any script written. This is strictly, we don't even have any questions set up. We're flowing and we're going as where the conversation is going. So nothing is scripted, nothing is pre-written, nothing. So this is us raw. So imagine what we can give. Okay. This is us raw, unfiltered, no, rehearsal. So yeah.
Yeah,
this is us, y'all. So come and enjoy. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Kat. You want to say something, Vanya, before we go?
Well, no.
Good night.
All right, Monty, you're closing.
Well, of course, we just want to say thank you to everyone for welcoming us into their homes, into their phones, into their ears. Hopefully, you learned something tonight. And we'll be back next week, exactly on this platform for another episode on Owning My Destiny. So, thank you.
Hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag OMD, everybody.
That's right. Hashtag OMD, everybody. Hashtag OMD. Thank you guys for joining us. We love you. We'll see you guys next week.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys. Have a good
Please.
night. Thank
Yeah,
you.
share the video. Please share.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night.